Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm not sure how the lighting's gonna be here. Oh, it's bright. Okay, how's this looking? Well, I'm coming to you again from the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. This time we're in Ishpeming, Michigan. It was about a 2.5 hour drive from where we're at. And I'm over here because I'm hooking up with Bell Forest products. Bell Forest Exotic Woods. I've gotten a lot of questions in the past about who do I get my wood from? Where does it come from? What kind of wood I'm using and everything else. And one of the places I get my wood from is over here. And I had sent emails in the past and I was chatting with somebody and I told them, you know, it'd be really cool one day to come see your place. I thought it'd really be neat. They gave me an open invitation. So the other day I called and said, hey, I happen to be in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. I'd love to come see your place. They said, sure, let's go. So packed up the family and my dad, and we headed over here because my dad has also bought some stuff from them in the past. So we thought we'd come over, get a little tour about Bell Forest products, share with you what it's all about, how they got their start, and what kind of woods they offer. So we're gonna finish walking Old Dutch over there, and we're gonna head inside. So let's take a look. Okay, gang, we just got inside here. We haven't hooked up with anybody yet. This place is amazing. Look at some of this wood. This is beautiful. Look at that. That is beautiful. Look at all that wood right here. Look at this. That is amazing. All the slabs of curly maple in here. Look at this. Man, the boards over here would be perfect for some knife scales. And we got red leaf maple, white ash, cherry, curly maple. You guys know I've done a lot of knives with curly maple. Matter of fact, I got that one knife with the dyed red and stabilized. And this is just amazing. Look at that curl right there. Whoa, like my dad just said, this place is dangerous. It's gonna be hard not to walk out of here with something. Camera coming through. Right, yeah. Don't pick your nose.
Well, I'll do it regardless.
Okay, so we hooked up with the guys. Josh is gonna be giving us a tour of everything, and he's also gonna do a little interview on the history of Bell Forest products, a little bit about that, what they do and all the woods that they offer, as well as their online store. You can check that out. I'll put links down below. But Josh is gonna go and make sure everything else is sorted out, let everybody know that we're gonna be coming around. And then we'll do a tour, and then I'll get to talk to Josh a little bit about what Bell Forest has to offer. And hey, Josh.
How you doing, man?
This is Josh, guys.
Hi.
Bell Forest products right here.
Absolutely.
Now it's Bell Forest Exotic Woods.
It's Bell Forest products.
The Bell Forest products?
Right.
Okay.
Yep. So family-owned business, started in 2001.
Okay.
And we've been in this location for about, we're going on like 16 years now.
It's an old building though.
It is. Yeah, this building has been here for a very, very long time.
It's cool. It's like this historic look to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the things that you may or may not notice is that we actually have all these giant doors. That's because we used to be a fruit and vegetable warehouse.
I was saying, it looked like coolers.
Absolutely.
Walk-in coolers.
Absolutely. So we've been able to repurpose a lot of this material and find, you know, perfect opportunities to store wood. It's perfectly insulated, so when it comes to winter, we can hold the humidity in.
Yeah, I was saying, really
sure
good for keeping that woods nice.
Absolutely.
Okay, so he's going to be our tour guide, so we're going to go ahead and go through this a little bit, and then we can talk more about the history later on.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, let's go, guys.
All right,
check
absolutely.
it out. Handpick your own boards. Okay.
So, if you are familiar with our website at all, we have a section on there that's called Handpick Your Board. And it works incredibly well. If you are a new person to woodworking or you have a very specific project in mind, you can go in and find the exact board that you would be receiving. And it doesn't mean that you have to be 10 miles away. You could be, you know, 10,000 miles away at this point. You know exactly what you're gonna get, the exact dimensions, and be able to see the photos of that board online.
And that's what I like, because that's what got me when I first started going on your website. And I can't say I remember how I even learned about you guys, but when I saw the Ishpeming, I was like, I had to do it because my watchers know that I support small businesses, family-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses.
Absolutely.
The small guy, like
Right.
me.
Right.
You want to do that first. I want to promote that. But when I went on your website, you click on it, it showed this is your piece.
Right.
And that was cool because most people don't do that.
Right. Well, it does take a lot of extra work, but you know,
that's your job, though.
That's one of my jobs. I do a lot of things here, but that's one of them.
Oh man.
So,
oh wow.
This here, everything that's on this side has been tagged and is ready online. So we have individual numbers on it. If you go online, you could type in that exact number, see that piece of lace wood, the exact dimensions. If there's any sort of defects at all, twisting, cracking, checking, splitting, whatever, it's all listed right there. Right now, there's not a whole lot. We've had quite a few more boards in here. We're probably right around 2,000 right now. But
wow.
Yeah, we've had upwards of 2,500 as the highest amount. Wow. And at that point, I don't know if you can see it, but there's not a tremendous amount of room to continue moving. So we're going to try and figure out what we're going to do with that material afterward. And it kind of overflows into these other spots here.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
So what woods, how many species would you say are in this room right now?
In this room, well, we have 120 different species that we stock. In this particular room, we probably have maybe 50 different species.
I'm looking at some of it I recognize, and others I'm just baffled because I've never seen the wood before.
Right.
And being a knife maker, and I've taught my dad that, he sends me these woods, and I've got these big slabs of black walnut and some other stuff like bird's eye maple. I can't cut it and put it into a knife because it only gives you a small picture of what it is. And some of this wood, I would do it a disservice by turning it into a knife handle for scales versus using it as a table or a display plaque or something. Yeah. The grains are just amazing.
Well, that is one thing that's kind of interesting, is that we don't have any particular clientele. So it's all over the place. We'll have people that are making actual furniture. They might turn duck call, doing knives, any sort of random.
You have pen blade parts too.
Yeah,
you have like small
absolutely.
pieces that you sell that just for people that do pens.
Yeah, those ones are surprisingly good. You know, there's a lot of people that are starting off with this species. They're not sure if they're going to like it or not. So rather than buy a huge board, sometimes it is nicer to just get a smaller piece.
Sweet, sweet.
Absolutely.
So we'll go on to the next room then.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's going to be really exciting, I think, too.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
I think you'll. So
this, what do people use such a thin piece for?
That's one of the more interesting things, right? So again, because we don't necessarily have a specific person that we're looking for, we might find that this is the perfect inlay on any sort of table, or they could potentially bend it, steam it, do any number of different things.
Wow, yeah.
So for me, you know, I might look at a board and say, this is a perfect X. And then because I do a lot of the follow-ups with the customers, I'll ask for photos, and I might get a choo-choo train out of that, you know, where you're just never thinking about what that was right away.
Okay.
Now, past that, this is where we start getting into our shorts. So this is going to be lumber that is not necessarily 5 foot or 8 foot. They could be maybe 2 foot to 4 foot, somewhere in that range. And it's a very easy access for us. So if we are short a particular size or a species or something, we might just run in and grab this particular piece of East Indian rosewood, bring it down into the shop, and then turn it into inlays or whatever we would actually need at that time.
Rosewood's my second biggest weakness next to Coco Bolo.
Constantly adjusting, rotating. So this is going to be our main area for exotic lumber. So when we have customers coming in, or we have a particular project that we're going to be working on, this will be more than likely the area where we'll draw that lumber from.
Okay.
So because there are a lot of species that are similar, the colors, maybe the density, and because it's rough, we make sure to actually label each one of these. Yeah. If you start getting into, you know, the darker species like the Brazilian ebony, Indian ebony, it can be very, very difficult to tell the two apart.
Even your mahogany, I was just looking, you got Santos mahogany, but then there's also just standard North American. Yeah, there's African mahogany, there's genuine mahogany, Santos mahogany, and those are the ones that we carry. I'm sure there's plenty. And then they have curls or figures, like gunstock, like black walnut. Right. You'll get black walnut, then you'll have a curly black walnut, then you'll get figured black walnut, like the gunstock version. It's got all the different curls and versions.
The stuff that's on the actual shelf here?
On the shelf here, yeah. It looks like it'd be for knife scales and such.
Well, you know, what's kind of interesting with this, just like when we were in the other room, we'll get pieces that aren't up to the quality that we need them to be at. So rather than go through and cut them into super small pieces, bring them up front, what we'll do is we'll actually keep them off to the side. So all of these pieces have a defect in some way, shape, or form. So if we're able to, say, cut it down where this is, you know, it's 2 inches thick, but you could still get 1.5 inches out of it, we'll do that, make sure that it goes back onto the shelf, and we're using as much of that material as possible. In the event that we can't get anything out of it, at that point, it's looking at, you know, coming up to the front. It would go into one of our craft packs, or we would, you know, possibly have it set aside for any number of little projects that maybe one of us has.
You know those box of the month clubs?
Yeah.
You ever guys thought about something like that?
There's a few ideas floating around.
Because that'd be pretty cool for knife makers.
Right.
A box of a month club.
Absolutely.
You're getting a surprise box, but you're getting a box of wood that you could use for knives. It might be 1.5 inches by 2 inches or something like that. That we could use, and then it's a subscription. And we're getting these pieces like that. That would be slick.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like where you're going with it. So it's not something that we, you know, that we're just now finding out about. We're trying to kind of figure out what the logistics would be on that. If it actually is something where we'd have enough material to continue to support it. But a lot of these things, they can be really, really expensive. So you don't want to have a box of the month and then it turns out that instead of $20 to start, it's, you know, $150 because you have Hunter and Rosewood Burl or something. You know.
And I guess maybe you could do it like for $29.95 a month. This is what you get. For $49.95 a month, this is what you get. And for $99.95 a month.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to talk later about that one.
Right. Oh, actually, yeah, that's a perfect spot here for us. So, because we are shipping all over the place, we have to make sure that the materials themselves are going to be in good condition. So, we might be in a nice dry area, but where we're shipping to, it could have higher humidity, or it could be winter, or any number of different things. Even when you start looking at the back of the shipping trucks, the humidity and heat could be in there and warp the pieces. So anything that's about 1.5 inches or larger, or something that isn't dry, we'll actually use this little paraffin wax machine.
Oh, wow.
We'll go through and we'll actually dip the pieces to make sure that that moisture stays inside. So, like this piece here, this is black palm. That piece has been fully waxed. Wow. And once it's good, like all that moisture stays inside of it. So if it's completely dry and we want to make sure that, you know, that it's really good and it's going to hold up over winter, we'll wax maybe just the edge of it, just to keep that moisture in. Or if it's something that probably would need some extra drying, then we'll do it full wax.
Camera issue, so we're back. So shipping?
Yep, so with the shipping, we'll have the actual orders once they're completed. You can either take it right over to the main shipping station or you can bring it over to the side slot here. Goes through, everything is kind of computerized, so we know where it's going to ship to. All of that information kind of gets drawn in.
Sweet.
And we're able to then load up some of the carts. What's nice here is that we're actually elevated, so our shipping trucks, the FedEx or Postal Service, they can drive right into the back and load up and go.
Push it all off and go. Excellent, excellent. I see a really big room off behind us to the left here.
Yeah.
Is that where we're going next?
That's where we're going next.
Woo! Check this out, gang.
Well, actually, before we go there.
Okay, yeah, we got to pause.
We got a lot of things over here that we can't just pass over. Right? So, this is where the majority of our stock or stock sizes that you'll be able to get on the site are going to be stored. They're broken down into little spots.
I thought I had a lot of wood.
There's a lot here for sure. So up front, you know, this is where our inlays are going to be. Pricing, everything is completely updated, so you don't have to just go onto the site and try to figure out what it's going to be. These are all, you know, right here. They're alphabetized. We try to keep it as organized as possible. Continues down. If you order our sample boxes, these are going to be the sizes that you'll get. It's that 1/2 inch by 3 by 6. That's the size. As we continue down, I don't think you guys are interested in any of these. These are the knife blanks. They're going to be the 1 by 1.5 by 5. We'll just.
Oh, it's all gone. It's all out of stock. That's right. Okay, here it goes.
So, when you guys go through, if you're ordering online, there's a book match option and just a regular option. So, if you get the regular option, it's a full piece, full 1 inch by 1.5 by 5. If you want us to go through and cut it for you, we will do so.
I didn't know that. You'll actually just rip it down, you get book match set?
Absolutely.
So for you guys that don't have, because I upgraded, I got a nice jet bandsaw, wood metal bandsaw, so I do it a lot. But I get guys asking me all the time, hey, I don't have a bandsaw, or they have like a little Harbor Freight thing.
Right.
This is the perfect option for them then.
Absolutely.
That's all. Yeah, the other thing, Bolivian rosewood, book match, all cut, sanded.
Well, it's not sanded.
Well, that feels
material. Nope, that's just going to be regular planed.
Wow, really?
We have a very smooth planer. So.
That is slick. Wow.
Now, once we start getting into the book matching on burls, it's extra beneficial to have that book match done from us, because in the event that there is an internal void, that's something that we will, we're just not going to ship that out. We don't want a piece that's completely blown out that nobody can use.
One caveat though, for you guys that know my channel, with burls we were talking about the stabilizing.
That's right.
If you stabilize something that's less than, say, a 1/2 inch by 2 inch, you get a lot of warping with that. So that's something to think about. So if you want to do book match ends, that's going to make that piece, it's going to be thinner. So you're not going to want to put it through all the pressurizing and such, because it's going to cup it and curl a little bit.
Absolutely.
For your book match, how thick is your, that's so, like 3/8?
Yep, those are 3/8.
Okay.
You get 2 pieces that are 3/8 by 1.5 by 5. So, we're really going to go through and we're going to make sure that it looks nice.
Those are slick. That's
Absolutely.
impressive.
What's nice with this is that instead of it just being that dimensional 1.5 by 12 or whatever, this is where we start getting into the bowl blends. So if you wanted to make a fruit bowl or any number of different things, you can go through, get these pieces. It's pretty heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, and all paraffin.
Yeah.
So you guys sealed it all up too. I mean, the care and the quality. And again, the tags, the attention to detail, guys, is amazing here. Everything's clean. I mean, I know you said, oh, I'm going to go back and make sure everything's straightened up. But this place is immaculate for a woodworking place.
Thank you.
And then every piece of wood is meticulously stored so clean on every shelf.
Absolutely.
You'd swear the owner was a former Marine or something.
Right. Well, before it can even go on the shelf, it has to get a label and it has to be inspected to make sure that it's ready to go. So it's incredibly good. We go through and make sure that everything is as protected and ready and as high quality as we could possibly have it. When I first started here, I didn't know what maple was. I didn't know what walnut was. I just knew it was wood. So for me to come in and try to learn all of this material, it probably took me a year before I actually got maybe 50% of the species.
And you said you're 6 or 7 years now?
Yeah, I'm going on probably 7 years at this point.
Nice.
At least a full 6. So, it's one of those things where at this point now I can kind of identify everything by eye. Again, there are certain ones, especially if it's been waxed, if you didn't know that this is what it was,
I would say it was maybe Madagascar ebony, but it's Indian ebony.
Right.
So, and it could have been African ebony.
Absolutely.
So this part though too, this is very useful for a lot of knife makers, because this is 2 by 2 by 12.
That's correct.
I mean, I usually get a 1 inch piece and by 2 inches.
Sure.
And I rip that 1 inch in half, and it gives me plenty of body to shape the knife on both sides.
Absolutely.
So this is 4 knives right here.
Yep.
So for $12,
it's a good yield.
I mean, it's 4 knives, and I've never heard of this before. How do you say that?
That is Ibiara.
Ibiara.
Yep.
That's kind of nice. It almost reminded me of a rosewood. Some of the rosewood I've seen, but a little bit milder.
This one also goes by red zebra wood.
Red zebra wood, okay.
Now you may not necessarily be able to tell in that exact one, but if you find pieces here where you have that striping in it, you can see just a little bit of
you get that pink and such in there, yeah.
Cool stuff. But you might want to take a look at this one too.
Buckeye burl. I got a woodworker buddy. I'd love to have one of these. I got a couple of woodworker buddies that would just love this.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that you could do with this. There's not many potentials.
No, there's really, I mean, doormat maybe.
Right.
You know,
right.
I've got a couple of pieces that my dad sent me that he thought it'd look good to cut up in scales. I said, no, Dad. I said, I'm going to sand it, clean it. The character that wood will give you afterwards, I'd use it as a wall hanger.
Yeah.
It would beat a painting done by any artist in my eyes.
Truly.
Because nature created hundreds of years to grow the tree, make these burls, and that fungus and all that sand cleanness, I'd hang that on the wall with a finish and that would be great.
That's all you need to do.
That is amazing.
You might even just get one individual line that shows up in a board.
But these boards, these slabs, now do you find, how do you even ship this?
These ones are a little tougher. Part of the reason why they're here right now.
10 feet?
Yeah, they're almost 10 foot.
Wow.
So these ones, we probably can't chip them super efficiently. So they're not listed on the site right now. So this here is the walnut.
So is this black walnut?
This is, yep, this is American black walnut.
Again, there's a light hue of pink in this.
Right. Yeah, and
rose type.
one of the other things here, take a look right here, you can actually see
it's
the
a
figure.
curl.
And you can see the figure right there in the side of it.
That's what I've got a couple of pieces, small pieces for knife scales that have a curl in this wave, and it's got a really strong rosy pink in it.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Absolutely.
And I've stabilized black walnut. I have done that. I think its Janka is probably around 1800 maybe.
You know, walnut is actually, I think it's going to be a little less than that.
Really?
Because it's hard maple. That's one of the ones that I've memorized as kind of a baseline.
Okay. Yeah.
That's at 1450 on the Janka scale. So this, I believe, is just a little under that.
Really?
Yeah.
It did take the stabilizing, so it does make sense. So guys, again, I've done several videos on the wood database and the Janka hardness, and Josh was showing me that they use the Janka thing, and they have everything rated. Absolutely. And on your website, you mentioned that you have that information too.
Yep. Yeah, you can go on, you can
woods.
sort it out so you can find out exactly what the Janka is going to be on every one of the species. You can sort it out by specific gravity. It's it's one of those things where it makes it much, much easier when you're doing your project to know exactly what you're getting.
Awesome, awesome. Are you recording? Okay. So Josh, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hopefully the video is not going to be too big, guys. I don't know how it's going to edit because as we were talking, there's so much information here, and I love wood, as you guys know, so it's really hard for me to focus on everything. And hopefully that can keep this video under at least 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah, it might be 4 or 5 parts.
Yeah, it might be. It might be part 2 or 3 because this whole tour was about an hour and a half or an hour or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to give you guys a lot of input. I want to give you guys as much exposure because I know you're really slow and y'all are bored.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it's other than playing solitaire all the time and such.
Well, that was the thing. You woke me up from a nap.
So again, guys, I'll put all their links down below. So just look up for Bell Forest. Okay, you'll have all the links, descriptions. You guys are on Instagram, I believe.
We are, yeah. We've got a couple of different social media platforms. I will give you a little caveat. There's not a person dedicated to doing that right now, so we all kind of pitch in. Okay. It's something that we need to kind of...
But you got a website, that'll be down below.
Absolutely.
You have Facebook and Instagram, because I know I'm Facebook for sure.
Yep.
So I'll put that all down below, guys. And again, I do appreciate all the support. Like, share, subscribes, all the good stuff keeps me from the bottom of the YouTube bucket. And again, check out Bell Forest. You will not be disappointed. You all have a good one. Take care.
Thank you.